What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Cal One-on-One right here on Cape Atlantic Live, presented by Ulmer's Appliance Service, and pleased to be joined today by Millville football head coach Humberto Ayala. Coach, thanks for joining me, man. And, it's an exciting time for you guys and the Thunderbolts going into 2023, defending state champions, Battle the Beach coming up in a few weeks. But I got to start out, man, just going into this season, there's a target on your back, it seems like. You guys were state champions last year, first state champions ever when it comes to actually finally having that final state championship in the state of New Jersey. So tell me about what that process was like, going from the highs of a championship to now we're in the off season and now we're going into the summer getting ready for 2023.
Well, listen, to be honest, I don't think anything changes because the previous year we went as far as the regionals and won all that as well, and had a pretty good season. So we felt like coming into even last year, we had a target on our backs because we were ranked number one in the state as far as public schools. The mindset doesn't change. We know we have to put the work in. We have to continue to, get bigger, faster, stronger. And that's what we did from January on. We put in the time, we put in the effort. We've seen growth and development in our guys. And we bring back a lot of guys that are seasoned and been through all those adverse moments through this past season. So, in that sense, we're just ready to hit the floor.
What's that like for you guys, knowing that you have a veteran group back? It's pretty much the same camaraderie, maybe a couple of tweaks here and there, some new guys coming in, obviously a couple of guys obviously leaving as well. What's that like for you guys, knowing that this has been a consistent program and a consistent run here? Obviously, you just mentioned before the regional championship before they added the state title, then, of course, the state title last season.
There's a sense of ease because, you got especially when you bring your quarterback back who, went through all the battles last year. So anytime you bring back a seasoned and a veteran group, there's a level of comfort and a level of ease to know that it's just a matter of game planning and tweaking certain things, like you said, adding a few new pieces here and there. But there's a sense of comfort just because you know that they know what it is and what it takes to get to that championship again.
So talking about some of the guys that are coming back, notably your quarterback, Jacob Zermatt, is back, one of the best quarterbacks in South Jersey, one of the best quarterbacks in the state by some metrics, of course. So he's coming back. He obviously led you to a state championship. Of course, again, all coaches and everyone will say it's a team effort, but he's one of the stars that's obviously singled out a lot by previews all over the place. What's it like having him under center, leading this team, leading this offense, knowing that if you have a quarterback who can do something like that in a big spot, like last year's state title game, what's that feel like for you guys going into this year where maybe you win 2 in a row?
Yeah, listen, I think this at every level. To win, you need a quarterback. If you look at the NFL and you look at the playoff games last year, San Fran took a shot because they didn't have a quarterback. So, being able to have somebody like Jacob, who's a gym rat, his true passion is to be quarterback. I know they rank some of these other kids in the state as quarterback, but they're not even going to the next level. This is his thing. Like, this is what he's going to do. And to throw for 3,100 yards in his first year playing, because that was his first year playing, because he was sat for 2 years behind Nate Robbins, previously. So for him to experience in that, put the time in. He's bigger, stronger this year and faster. Last year coming into the season about this time, he was 5'11 and a half, 180 pounds. Now you're talking about he's 6'1", 200 pounds. So he, the throws are better. His ability just to read defense, and more than anything, the biggest thing for me is his ability to lead the team the way a quarterback should has grown drastically as well.
You mentioned his ability to lead the team, so I would imagine, based on how you're describing him, Jim Rat, always studying the playbook, being a character guy, being a leader. I can imagine whether or not he's getting the grand college attention, not enough college attention, that has to be on the back burner for him, right? It is his future, but I would imagine he seems like a guy who he's putting the team first, it seems like, going into this final year.
Yeah, listen, it's rough. He has five offers. He's going to play Division I football somewhere. I think the attention should be greater because I think some schools are sleeping on what he can do. He could play at any level and compete. He's got the arm strength, he's got the athleticism. I think the late starting in his junior year, where some kids have been playing since their sophomore or freshman year, so that kind of gives them that leverage as far as the recruitment process goes. But he's a team first guy. I think he knows he's going to play Division I football. But his mindset is, let's win another championship. He wants to go out there and compete. because that's what he is at heart. He's a competitor at nature. So
Certainly seems like you guys have the talent going into 2023 to do just that. So looking at some other guys, who are some of the other guys that stand out to you that maybe people don't know if they don't follow Millville football? Maybe some guys that are coming back that we're not talking about enough. I mean, who else on both sides of the football really stands out to you going into this next fall?
I mean, we got a lot of guys, man. It's hard to not credit all
It's
of
like a
them.
laundry list, right?
Well, listen, we're fortunate. We're fortunate. We're fortunate to have the talent that we have. We're fortunate to have a city that buys into the sport of football and all sports in general. But as far as personnel wise, you have Latier Brooks. I think people forget how good Teron Hale is, and it's baffling. And they're going to see it this year. His level of confidence and mindset, as far as like what he can do, is just at a whole nother level. I mean, he's committed to Syracuse, for goodness sake. You know what I mean? He's a Power 5 receiver, and people sleep on him, and they're gonna be surprised on what he is. As far as we got Jaden Jones at D end. He's only gonna be a sophomore, but he's game changer. He's going to wreak havoc on offensive tackles this year. Then I remember too, we have, from an offensive line standpoint, we have Marcus Offer, who's been first team offensive lineman, all South Jersey, all conference 2 years in a row. You got Darian Blatchowitz, our left tackle, D end. I mean, I can go on and on. As far as player personnel, we got a Sear Cornish running that Mike linebacker spot, Kion Conyers at safety. I mean, we're fortunate.
It's basically a who's who on this Millville football team going into this year. So looking ahead to a couple of weeks from now, as we're recording this here at the end of July, Battle of the Beach coming up on August 25th, that Friday game, of course, taking on Toms River North. They were the Group 5 state champions. So it's a state champ versus state champ type of game. You don't want to read too much into it. And of course, these are different teams. You mentioned before how you have a lot of guys back. I'm not as familiar with Toms River North, but obviously a very talented program, very consistent, as you guys are as well. Is there pride on the line with this game? And not only is it a big game on your schedule, and obviously it will help towards your PowerPoints and towards your playoff standings later this year, but is there a sense of pride knowing that, hey, if maybe we played a couple extra weeks for an overall state champion in New Jersey, we might have faced these guys, and is a little bit of that on the line as well?
Yeah. I mean, listen. I mean, when you're a competitor and you're in this type of sport, like, you want to play the best of the best. I mean, and that's who Millville always has been. I mean, you saw 3 years ago we're playing St. Peter's Prep in Rutgers. I mean, granted, we got torched, but we're not scared of the competition. We don't step down no matter the situation. But listen, Toms Rivers, they're well coached. They're a good program. But I do recall us beating them in 2016 in the sectional, and they were stacked that year. Listen, they're big. They're big. But what people don't realize, you're going to see when Millville puts on the pads how big we are. We are a bigger team this year than what we were last year in size. So I think we can match the size and strength. We're just like, when you look at us compared to some others, I mean, from a physical standpoint, we're in really great shape. Like, and that put that credit on our strength and conditioning coach, who put a lot of time in the weight room for that situation. But yeah, I mean, pride, I guess, but like, they're number one, we're number two. Everybody wants to be number one.
I like that.
So, I mean, I take nothing away from what they've done and who they are. So it's going to be a great game. It's going to be a great game with quality coaches, competing against each other.
Definitely one to watch out for at Battle at the Beach, of course. So the rest of the schedule, and it seems like Millville, I mean, even some of you said before how you guys are really big too compared to Toms River North. I remember my playing days as well, going up against you guys, 10 plus years ago. Millville always had size. Didn't matter if they were offensive linemen, quarterbacks, wide receivers, running backs, did not matter. So you guys are definitely going to be well prepared. So I'm looking at your schedule, and there's a lot of Group 5 teams on there. St. Augustine Prep, of course, another Cape Atlantic type team that plays within the West Jersey Football League, but again, private school, very talented program, a loaded schedule. It seems like Millville and you guys year to year, I know some schedules roll over year to year, just flipping the home and away schedules, but it seems like Millville, you guys go out of your way to schedule these really tough schedules, to put it in layman's terms. And is that just for strength of schedule purposes? Is it a combination of you want to keep testing yourselves because you know how good you are? I mean, what is that? I mean, do you take pride in a tough schedule like that?
Yeah. I mean, listen. I mean, the idea is to be battle tested, right? Like, I mean, when you get into the playoffs, I feel like the competition you play throughout the season prepares you like we saw so many different moments last year because of the schedule we had and the teams we went against, because the teams we're going against are well-coached teams. So you're playing against, Lenape's and all them. Like, you're not getting the small end schools. We're playing against quality kid programs that have been in the mix for a while. So I think that prepares us for, the playoffs. And that's the idea, is to be in that situation. And also, I mean, you play the bigger schools, you get more power points, right? I mean, like,
Yeah, of course.
but let's get facts. You know
Can't
what I
yeah,
mean?
can't
So
lie about that.
there's a strategy to it, but we're not going to be scared of it. Whereas some schools may back down because they want to see the wins to help promote confidence within their team and program, and I get that. But our kids understand what we're playing against. So if it doesn't work out, like last year, we lost to Irvington the second game of the season. And then we lost to Lenape later on, and it was a shot. But they understood what it was, and we just kept moving. That's it.
No doubt. So speaking of schedules, and obviously over the past couple of years, you've taken advantage of it, knowing how far your team has gotten. Of course, the regional finals 2 years ago and the state championship last season. But the schedule, some people like it, some people don't. When you talk to players and coaches, especially the guys who have been around New Jersey high school football for a long time, Thanksgiving games are pretty much going by the wayside. I believe on your schedule, you still have Vineland on your Thanksgiving Day schedule, but it's weeks, so basically over a month after your final regular season game, and it's going to be smack dab in the middle of the playoffs around state championship time as well. Just take me through what that process is for you guys. I mean, did you like it? Did you not like it? I mean, how do you handle that, especially if you guys do get that far again here in 2023?
You're talking in reference to the Thanksgiving game?
Correct, yes.
I mean, listen, it's a tradition. I love traditions. I'm big with it. I'm not the person to say, oh, we got to get rid of it. I mean, is it ideal because of now, like, them changing the state game to be on a Thursday? Because they just changed that, which would stink. We'll take it one game at a time, and the goal is championship or bust. So we intend to see ourselves in that position. So it's just something that we're gonna have to plan out and go with. But I know, like, our Thanksgiving game is the longest standing Thanksgiving game rival in like probably the country. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's been on. I think we celebrated 2 years ago the 150th anniversary.
Yeah.
So it means a lot to the city, means a lot to the town, means a lot to the kids because of the rival it is. So I'm not one to say do away with it, but you do face challenges as far as preparation, because this is what it comes down to: is, can I go out there and put a JV team out there? Yeah. But if we don't win that game, there's gonna be a lot of upset people from the alumni. So, we got to have some kind of balance to it. So, I mean, we deal with it in strides, and we do our best.
It seems like you have, and it just kind of take me into that a little bit. How did you handle that last year, knowing that, hey, big rivalry game, one of the longest standing rivalries, as you just mentioned, you have to beat Vineland. You have to beat Vineland, and Vineland's thinking the same thing against Millville. How do you handle that, though, knowing that injuries can happen? And you also don't want to pull all the way back, because there is a sense of pride in it. But you have a state championship game in about 7 to 10 days.
Yeah, well, last year was rough. So last year, we played Mainland on Sunday for the state semifinal,
Right.
and then had to turn around and play that Thanksgiving game that Thursday. It's a 3-day turnaround. You know what I mean? So we kept it light in practice, and the idea was like, all right, we knew what they were, and there was no shot at them, but we knew where we were in comparison to them. So, but still, they exerted so much energy in that Mainland game, and so that turnaround was rough. And we went into the game, had the mentality, all right, we're going to get our starters out there, and then we were going to just cut it off. Didn't work out like that. You saw the sluggishness in the beginning, and they I think they were up a couple points going into the half. And so our guys are like, oh goodness, all right, let's just put. So we didn't. Our guys played almost 3.5 quarters, if not more, of that game, and then had to turn around and play the state game. So it didn't work out the way we would have liked it.
I'll leave you here with this one, Coach. And of course, Humberto Ayala with me here on Cal 101, presented by Ulmer's Appliance Service. You can find us, of course, on Cape Atlantic live on YouTube. So, Coach, season's coming really fast. Hard to believe, with the summer schedule, it seems like you just instantly turn around. All of a sudden, it's the next football season. So you guys are about 3 weeks out, maybe a little bit more, from Battle at the Beach against Toms River North to open up your season. Just a message to the fans out there in Millville, to the town. Obviously, a lot of town pride with you guys, especially as of late with the amount of success your program has seen. What's the message to the Millville fans out there who say, you know what, we can feel a second straight state championship coming here in 2023?
The message is just, continue to support us, continue to be there by our side, and show the love for the OBG. we're out there consistently representing the name on the front of the jersey, representing our city. Millville loves football. It's just been a generational thing from years and years and decades of football loved within that city. So my message to them is just, just to continue to ride with us, up and downs. I mean, even in the down moments, continue to be there for us, and we'll make sure that we put everything out there and give you, your money's worth and the entertainment you need in order to support us. That's it.
Coach, appreciate the time. As always, good luck this season. Looking forward to seeing what you guys can do. Hopefully another long run in store for Millville and another state championship here in 2023. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it again. Thanks.